Coming up next on KPBS Evening Edition, Governor Jerry Brown proposes billions of dollars in more state budget cuts.
We'll have a look at what those cuts mean for San Diego, and a new poll shows a clear frontrunner in the race for San Diego mayor with a tie for second.
You'll hear about a promise Nathan Fletcher says he would never make again, and Carl DeMaio talks about separating his personal beliefs from his politics.
KPBS Evening Edition starts now.
Hello, thanks for joining us. I'm Joanne Ferrian.
I'm Dwayne Brown. Governor Jerry Brown has released his revised state budget.
The deficit is bigger than he'd projected back in January, much bigger. The budget gap's grown from $9.2 billion to $15.7 billion. His new revised budget calls for more than $8 billion in spending cuts. Among them, a 5% pay cut for state workers, $544 million from the state's trial courts, and another $38 million from the University of California.
We're still recovering from the worst recession since the 1930s. Tax receipts are coming in lower than expected, and the federal government and the courts have blocked us from making billions in necessary budget reductions. The result is that we're now facing a $16 billion hole, not the $9 billion we thought in January.
The governor says the budget can't be balanced with cuts alone. His plan includes $5.9 billion in revenue from his proposal to increase the state sales tax and income taxes for those making more than $250,000 a year. That proposal still has to qualify for the November ballot. And of course, Brown says more cuts will be needed if it doesn't pass.
That's right. San Diego's chief economist with Sandag isn't too optimistic California voters will approve raising taxes. Marnie Cox says we can expect deeper budget cuts to education and Medicare from this revised state budget. Marnie, with a state budget gap of nearly double, $16 billion, what the governor is predicting, what areas do you think would be hardest hit in San Diego County?
Well, the state has made the point that the areas that they'll cut back the most of in order to try and slim this deficit is first the Medi-Cal, which will affect people statewide, not only just here in San Diego. The other area they'll cut back in is education expenditures. And then the third area where they were expecting to cut back, but the federal government won't let them cut back, is in some construction for courts and jails. So that will continue, of which San Diego has some going on. So we'll actually benefit by the federal government stepping in and forcing the state to continue that.
How do you think people will be impacted by this budget gap?
Well, the government's in the business of services, and when it has insufficient funds to provide those services, it either does it at a lower level or it cuts them out. The state's typically ratcheting down as opposed to cutting completely out, so you'll see fewer services available for a broad range of those people who are most dependent on government kinds of things, and right at the top are health and welfare.
Mm-hmm. And you already mentioned schools, universities, I take it as well.
And universities, the way they're being impacted, many of the universities let the students know that tuitions will rise in order to help close the gap that they have. So prices going up in order to attract additional revenue so that they don't have to cut back nearly as much, either from a faculty perspective or something like that. On the other hand, because they can't depend upon the state for as much revenue as they originally had.
We know jobs have been a thorny issue not only in San Diego but throughout California. What impact do you think job cuts in these particular areas will have on the overall economy?
Yeah, in fact, what we're seeing is it's slow but consistent growth in jobs on the private sector. But what we're seeing is a ratcheting back or a reduction in jobs in the public sector. And the same thing is going on here in California as well as San Diego. So we're likely to continue to see those trends in light of this most recent information from the state. The deficit is larger, less funds available. We'll probably see more layoffs. This time it will probably impact the education sector more significantly than it has in the past.
How likely do you think it will be that California voters actually support a tax increase in November?
Well, you know, part of the problem is that even with the proposed tax increases, brings in about $8.5 billion. Now, with a deficit that's $16 billion. The tax increases don't cover the entire gap. So now they'll still have to go through this reduction in other areas. And they're proposing, again, Medi-Cal, reductions in wages and salaries for state employees, those kinds of things to help close that gap. And if they can't get that, then they have to start laying off people. But the gap is so large now that even if they do get the tax increase, and that's highly suspect that they'll be able to get that, it's still not sufficient to close the entire gap.
Marnie Cox is chief economist with Sandag. He says voters rarely support raising taxes in a sluggish economy.
The Navy is creating a new command in charge of security near ports and coastal waterways. The new Coastal Riverine Force will begin operations in June with the group home-ported in Imperial Beach and squadrons at bases around San Diego.
The Coast Guard has asked Yacht Racing's governing board to look into an accident. It killed 4 sailors during a race from Newport Beach to Ensenada. The wreckage of the Aegean was found off the Coronado Islands last month. At first, investigators believe the yacht collided with a large ship, but now they're considering the possibility it crashed into rocks along the islands.
The chief of the San Miguel Consolidated Fire Protection District is recovering from serious injuries from a motorcycle accident. Augie Guillo has been a frequent guest here at KPBS. He was hurt after losing control of his motorcycle during a ride Saturday morning. Guillo is scheduled to retire this week.
An iconic symbol of Southern California surf culture is all but a memory today. Officials dedicated the concrete replacement for the old wooden trestles bridge and popular surfing spot. KPBS business and environment reporter Eric Anderson joins us now. Where exactly is the bridge, Eric?
Well, Dwayne, you've probably driven within shouting distance of trestles hundreds of times. It's located just a few hundred yards off Interstate 5 along Basilone Road. That's where San Clemente and Camp Pendleton meet. And to get there, most people walk from San Clemente. Right before they get to the beach, they have to pass under the train tracks. And on any given day, hundreds, if not thousands of people pass under that structure. It used to be this intricate lattice of wooden posts. Jerome Stocks is the mayor of Encinitas, and he says it's been years since he was there, but he remembers the bridge from the 1970s. It stood in the shadow of the bluff below Ronald Reagan's San Clemente home, and he says security was always tighter when the president was there. He also went on to say that it was the surf that drew people to the beach, but the region took its name from the bridge that held up that train track for decades.
Yeah, but you're right. That's why there's a reason it's called trestles, and it's because of the train trestle. And it's an iconic old bridge. It was built in 1941, as we've just confirmed, and is now replaced with a modern concrete structure. I was real pleased to see that we at least honored the history by having the word trestles placed on the new bridge. So that was a nice touch.
Those block letters are embossed in the concrete structure that now supports the tracks. It reminds the beachgoers that the bridge that they were walking under was named after that wooden structure.
And Eric, why replace the wooden structure now?
Well, in essence, it wore out. The old wood pilings endured about 75 years of salty air, fires, and just plain old-fashioned rot. And the structure was in such poor shape that it threatened train traffic. Trains had to go slower over that section of the track. About 45 trains a day pass over there. It's the only rail connection between San Diego and Los Angeles, and from there the rest of the country. And the renovation project was funded as part of the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act. It came in under budget and on time.
KPBS business and environment reporter Eric Anderson. A new poll shows Councilman Carl DeMaio increasing his lead in the San Diego mayor's race. The poll was done for our media partner 10 News. 31% of those surveyed preferred DeMaio, up 3 points from last month. Congressman Bob Filner got a 1-point increase. He's now tied with Assemblyman Nathan Fletcher in second place. Support for DeMaio has held steady at 13%. Today and tomorrow, we are talking with the candidates one-on-one. First up, frontrunner Carl DeMaio.
The polls consider him the frontrunner in this race. Councilmember Carl DeMaio has not been in office or even in San Diego long, but his political style, war on potholes, and anti-big government message has made him a nearly household name. His biggest claim to fame in this mayoral race is his charge to put pension reform on the ballot. Lately, his challengers have taken him to task for what they say are inaccurate statements. Here's a clip from the KPBS mayoral debate from last month.
Are you currently under investigation for an ethics violation? And if so, what is the nature of the investigation and the violation you are alleged to have conducted?
You have 30 seconds to respond. Yeah, as usual, Carl, your facts are off. We're not under any investigation by the Ethics Commission. But I do find it ironic that you would ask a question about transparency, given after you were fined by that Ethics Commission for breaking campaign finance laws, you tried to defund them.
Councilmember Carl DeMaio joins me in studio. Thanks for being here. Okay, so this is a heated
Politics
moment.
is fun, isn't it?
But here's the thing. This is why we played this clip, because this is one example of what people say. You take some truth, but you don't provide all the context, and as a result, this becomes quite an inflammatory statement. And in this instance in particular, this was a debate in April where we know, and I'm sure you knew, in February, 2 months prior to this moment, the Fair Political Practices Commission had cleared Nathan Fletcher. He wasn't under investigation.
No, there was no knowledge of that. Well, only thing we knew at that point was that Nathan Fletcher had the highest amount of spending on an ethics lawyer, the state's leading ethics defense lawyer.
Before you say something like this, wouldn't you have looked into that? So you didn't know that in February, 2 months prior to you making that claim on live television, that there was no investigation?
No, in fact, what we were looking at was a separate investigation that was launched by the city's ethics commission that was ongoing and only had been resolved the day before. Nobody knew that it had been resolved, and the ethics commission confirmed that. So we were asking a very legitimate question, which is, why do you have so much, how many bills you have for ethics lawyers, and if there's something that he needs to disclose, let's get that out there in the open.
Let's bring up another example from that same debate. So we've heard so much about the convention center expansion. So during the debate, you had said that this expansion would be funded by private investment from the hotel owners. Why would you say that?
Because what the hoteliers are doing is not raising the TOT tax, which would be a general fund tax. They're creating a self-assessment district. And my point is, Mr. Filner earlier in the debate had said, let's use that money for public purposes. It's not allowed to be used for public purposes because, like a Melrose, it can only go to the community or the individuals that raise it.
That's
so that
right.
was the
point
I was
Melrose,
making.
It's a tax. It's not private investment. The people who are going to be paying this increased fee are people who stay in those hotel rooms, not the hotel owners, not private industry, but the public.
And I think the point that we need to focus on is how important this is to our economy, the jobs, the revenues that it can derive. And in politics, instead of focusing on what the people want, jobs, an important expansion to our convention center, which supports a key part of our economy, these politicians in the political debate is about splitting hairs. What I want to do is I want to get the convention center done.
But it's not about splitting hairs. It's about being upfront with the voter. It's about saying to the voter, this is a tax. And you didn't say it was a tax. You said it was private investment.
The point was being made that you could use it for public purposes. And the reality is, and you'll find that the city attorney agrees with me, that the money can only go to the convention center if it's being raised by the hoteliers.
Actually, what the city attorney says, he doesn't even know if this is legal at all. That's what he told me here on this show.
That's right.
So that's why it's going before a lawyer.
That's why it is going before a judge, so that the judge can bless it. But the city attorney will confirm that the money cannot be used for any other purpose besides expanding the convention center.
Let's talk about the endorsement from UT San Diego. Doug Manchester owns the paper. Carries a lot of weight. This is the big game in town. Now, as you know, Manchester funded Proposition 8. More than $100,000. This is a ban on same-sex marriage. There have been questions, I know, in other publications about perhaps you accepting this endorsement, you accepting funding from him. Does it, because you're an openly gay man, does it cause your moral consciousness pause when you think about accepting this support and this funding, given that this is an issue that's important in sort of the gay community?
Look, obviously I support gay marriage as a gay man. However, my role as mayor is to look out for all San Diegans' welfare and to put priorities on fiscal reform, pension reform, rebuilding our streets and sidewalks, getting our services restored like after-school programs, not getting into social issue debates. And I've been very clear about that. As a candidate for city council, my time on city council, as a candidate for mayor, I have said repeatedly that my focus is on advancing fiscal reform. Now, why would Doug Manchester support me? Well, I think the Union Tribune laid it out nicely in the paper. I'm a candidate who has shown results for taxpayers, getting the waste eliminated, identifying the waste, standing up for taxpayers time and time again, whether it was defeating the sales tax in 2010 or helping pass managed competition in 2006 or getting $155 million in cost-saving reforms through the city council by building coalitions. And finally, by putting my own campaign on hold so we could qualify pension reform and give San Diego voters the chance to fix the biggest financial crisis looming over our city. So that's why they endorsed me.
So is it that easy for you to sort of put that personal belief system aside and for political sake accept this?
Well, I think, obviously I have strongly held personal views, the issues that are important to me as Carl, an individual, a private citizen. But my role as mayor is quite different. My role as mayor is to stay focused on the issues, the crisis that the city faces, our fiscal crisis, the fact that our roads are the 8th worst roads in the country right now for a big city, the fact that our kids don't have the libraries or park and recreation programs or after-school programs after school. So here's the question I'll ask you and your audience. What's more important? Your mayor beating the drum on social issues that really don't have anything to do with city government, or your mayor staying focused on resolving the fiscal crisis and restoring important neighborhood services? I think it's the latter, and we'll see in this election whether people agree.
Thank you so much for being here, Councilmember Carl DeMaio.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
And we continue our talks with the mayoral candidates in just a moment. Up next, Nathan Fletcher. This is KPBS Evening Edition.
Tonight on KPBS at 8, Antiques Roadshow is in Minneapolis, Minnesota for a look at animation propaganda produced by Disney Studios during World War II. Then at 9, celebrities from A to Z reminisce about the life and career of the most famous Tonight Show host, Johnny Carson, on American Masters. And at 11, a teacher and the game he uses to demonstrate the complexities of peace and global conflict. That's all tonight on KPBS.
The garrulous Mr. Garrow.
We have asked for you.
He provides defense for the accused.
You're a man who will have others hanged for a reward.
And in the Old Bailey of 18th century England,
Mr. Garrow was playing you like a harpist.
He fights for justice.
Since when have you concerned yourself with what you are allowed to do?
I will have my son.
You twisted your efforts so an innocent man would hang for it.
The new season of Garrow's Law.
A new season of Garrow's Law begins Thursday at 10:30, only on KPBS. KPBS Evening Edition is made possible by Joan and Irwin Jacobs and by
Tonight and tomorrow night, we are talking with the major candidates in the San Diego mayoral race. Last week, Joanne sat down with Assemblyman Nathan Fletcher.
It was the defining moment in his bid for mayor. Nathan Fletcher's move from the Republican Party, declaring himself an independent. The switch may have contributed to his surge in the polls, but it also has some questioning whether the decision was about principle or politics. Fletcher has been a longtime Republican. In fact, he signed Grover Norquist's infamous anti-tax pledge. Take a look.
Well, I'm thrilled to be here with someone who represents what I think we all believe as Republicans, which is that through limited government, we can actually allow the individual to prosper and have more efficiency. And so I'm thrilled to not only sign the pledge, but to have the honor to do it in the presence of Grover Norquist.
Joining me in studio is Assemblymember and mayoral candidate Nathan Fletcher. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So this is a pledge that says you, as an elected official, will not increase taxes. Would you sign that pledge if asked today?
What I would have said I will clearly do moving forward is pledge to do the right thing for the people I represent. Now, I don't believe you should raise taxes. I don't believe we build a competitive economic base. I don't believe we put people back to work by raising taxes. But I really saw last year that the reality of governing and the fact that you're not allowed to have rational conversations. When I worked with Governor Jerry Brown to eliminate a loophole that only benefited large out-of-state corporations, eliminating the loophole was at the request of California CEOs, who said we're at a competitive disadvantage. Eliminating that loophole brought in $1 billion in new money into the state.
But to clarify, does that mean you would not sign that pledge if asked to today?
I would not. I would pledge to say I'm going to do the right thing for the people I represent. That doesn't mean we're going to raise your taxes, and I don't believe that we should start raising your taxes.
Although you do support the new convention center tax.
And that's a perfect example of a project where you have a specific fee or tax that's going to a specific purpose that has a broad-based economic impact. And we've got to have the ability to have conversations like that. To say we're going to invest in our tourism industry, we're going to invest in something that's going to create a lot of good jobs. We've got to have the ability to say we're going to eliminate a loophole that doesn't provide any incentive to make us more competitive. And so moving forward, I'm going to continue to do the types of things I've done in the past, now with just a clear signal that I won't be beholden to either the far right or the far left.
I want to talk a little bit about some other issues and just put up on the screen for the people at home this scorecard. I want to give credit to voiceofsandiego.org. They prepared this. They looked at the 4 major candidates, 2 Republicans, yourself now an independent and a Democrat, and where they stood on major issues like the convention center tax, like whether or not you want to ban project labor agreements, which you do. You support outsourcing city services. Now, when you take a closer look at this scorecard, and people can do so by going to our website, kpbs.org or voiceofsandiego.org, what you see is that your position is no different than the other 2 Republican candidates. So how are you different than the other Republicans who are running?
Well, there is a stark and clear difference between myself and someone like Councilmember Carl DeMaio. Carl DeMaio has been labeled the most polarizing figure in San Diego politics, certainly since Mike Aguirre. His vision for San Diego is said to make us the Wisconsin of the West, and he's not talking about cheese. He's talking about a state defined by chaos and confusion and riots and protests. He brings a very divisive, polarizing approach.
So is it a personality thing, or is it where your position on the issues that differentiates?
Well, I think it's both. It's certainly my approach is significantly different. Even before I became independent, I had colleagues of mine who were Democrats and colleagues of mine who were Republicans who supported me. I've demonstrated in my time in the legislature that I can bring both parties together behind solutions, behind passing legislation, behind getting things done. And so my approach to governing is not divisive wedge ballot measures. It's sitting down, negotiating in good faith, letting all parties have a seat at the table, and moving us forward, and there couldn't be a bigger difference.
Let's talk about your change. There's been a lot said about you leaving the Republican Party and criticism that this was a move about politics. So I want to read something. This is from a Republican blog, the author John Fleshman, a longtime political strategist with the Republican Party. Now, someone who says he is your friend, and this is what he writes. It took me the better part of a week to finally write this piece because Nathan is my friend and my comrade. I'm very sorry to learn of his decision, one that I believe was made for short-term tactical reasons, and one that I know Nathan will regret for many years to come. Why leave the party to run in a nonpartisan race?
Well, my only regret is that I hadn't done it sooner. Because over the course of my time in the legislature, you see an environment that becomes increasingly partisan, where it isn't about solving a problem, it's about preserving that problem to campaign on. Where you're not allowed, earlier this week, if you were a Republican in San Diego, you got a mail piece from the Republican Party and it had a picture of me and Jerry Brown. And it said, he's standing with Jerry Brown. That must be bad. On the exact same day, the Democratic Party did a mailer to all the Democrats that had a picture of me and John McCain. And it said, look, he's got to be bad. He's standing with John McCain. Right. Well, heaven forbid we have an environment where you say, I'll stand with anybody, regardless of party, if you have a good idea.
But it made a lot of people in the Republican Party angry. And I mean, you had some pretty bigwig backers. Newt Gingrich, Mitt Romney's given money to your campaign. How do you turn your back on that?
Well, you're not. The ideas and the approach from when I ran for the Assembly is the same now. How do we solve problems, bring people together, and get things done? All I'm doing is saying I'm not going to play the partisan game anymore. I'm going to focus entirely on solutions. I'm going to be willing to work with you wherever you came from. And I had a lot of supporters that were Democrats. And those that supported me are still supporting me today.
You
because
have changed your position, though, on a couple. Well, you have changed. You've changed on social issues, things like abortion.
I have not. That's actually not a fair characterization. You talk to supporters of mine who will tell you before I ran for the Assembly, they asked me my position, and they said Nathan was pro-choice then, and I'm pro-choice today. Now,
and also in your Planned Parenthood questionnaire, you also say that you support a ban on informed consent, that teenagers can have access to abortion without their parents knowing. You support that. Did you support that 5 years ago?
No, my position's the same. I mean, you can go in a political campaign, anyone can take any issue and try and twist and distort it. The votes that are referenced were procedural in nature, and there was not a single piece of substance behind any of them, but they were used as a political football.
What about same-sex marriage, though? Your position didn't change on same-sex marriage?
No, it's been exactly the same. I opposed Proposition 8. I supported it. I supported marriage equality. I support marriage equality today. But in an environment dominated by the extremes, you'll have a Carl DeMaio who will stand up and will use scorecards to paint me as a radical liberal. And you'll have Bob Filner stand up and use scorecards to paint me as a crazy right-wing conservative, and it can't be both. But the reality is, in today's environment, there's not an understanding that sometimes you agree with one, sometimes you agree with the other.
We are so out of time, but I want to give you 20 seconds to respond to what's been in the media lately. You have missed a number of votes. Have you sort of shirked your responsibilities in the Assembly to run this campaign?
I'll put my track record of accomplishment up against anyone in this race. I'll put our record of passing legislation to let people keep their health insurance, to protect our environment, to put people back to work, to protect our children through Chelsea's Law against anybody running and demonstrate a real commitment. And my constituents know we work every single day.
Okay, Nathan Fletcher. Nathan Fletcher, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Our talks with Councilman Carl DeMaio and Assemblyman Nathan Fletcher are on our website, kpbs.org. Tomorrow night, we'll hear from Congressman Bob Filner and District Attorney Bonnie Dumanis. This is KPBS Evening Edition.
I'm Jeffrey Brown. On the next NewsHour, decisions at the Supreme Court. That's Monday on the PBS NewsHour.
An American tradition in honor of our nation's heroes, a tribute to those who have served and sacrificed. It's the National Memorial Day Concert with General Colin Powell, Trace Atkins, Daughtry, Natalie Cole, Ellen Burstyn, Dennis Franz, the National Symphony Orchestra, my co-host Gary Sinise, and me, Joe Mantegna. Join us for a night to remember, the National Memorial Day Concert, Sunday, May 27th, 8 p.m., only on PBS.
The American people
have named PBS the most trusted source of news
and public affairs
for the 8th year
in a row.
Trust.
The American people have spoken.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the Public Square on KPBS Evening Edition. Last week, we told you about new research that says the rate of skin cancer among young people, especially women, is increasing. Today, Republican Congressman Brian Bilbray introduced legislation that would provide new money for melanoma research. Bilbray's 25-year-old daughter, Brianna, recently underwent surgery in her battle against melanoma. The congressman says people have a 1 in 50 chance of developing the disease in their lifetime, and that rate is higher for those under 30. If passed, the research money would come from existing user fees charged to people who use tanning booths. Brianna Bilbray was a guest on Evening Edition last November when she threw her support behind the use of medical marijuana despite her father's opposition to medical marijuana. Well, if you would like to comment on tonight's stories, this one, or perhaps our interviews with the mayoral candidates, send me an email, jfarian@kpbs.org, or drop us a line on Twitter or Facebook. And now let's go back to the news desk where Dwayne has a recap of tonight's top stories.
Today, Governor Jerry Brown released his May revise of the state budget. He's proposing more than $8 billion in spending cuts, including a 5% pay cut for state employees and cuts in health care and social services. And the new poll shows Councilman Carl DeMaio widening his lead in the San Diego mayor's race. DeMaio was favored by 31% of those surveyed for our media partner 10 News. Assemblyman Nathan Fletcher and Congressman Bob Filner were tied for second place, followed by District Attorney Bonnie Dumanis. You can find tonight's stories on our website, kpbs.org/evening edition. Thank you for joining us. You have a great night.